Hey everybody, and welcome to another video from Korea. Today I wanted to show you a bit where exactly I live and the area where I live. Some of you might already know that I live around Sindorim now. I moved from Mukdong, where the Gom house was located, roughly 2 or 3 months ago. And I'm currently living in Sindorim and I'm really happy here. So what you can see behind me is the Techno Mart, one of the bigger malls in Korea that we have. There's another one right behind it. It's called the Cube City. And I want to give you a quick tour and show you a little bit around. So as already mentioned, this is Techno Mart, one of the bigger malls here in Korea. And my apartment is located right across the street of Techno Mart. So you can see that this is the building where I live in. And it's pretty huge. I don't know how many stores it actually has. But yeah, there are a couple of shops that you can see right at the bottom of the building. Just a couple of restaurants and also like a 24/7 market. Nothing too special. But I have a very short distance if I want to go to one of the malls, and there's also a subway station located right over there. Alright, we just crossed the street, so we are now on the other side of the street, still right in front of Techno Mart. And you can see that there's a bit of a, I don't want to call it a festival, but some festivities going on. Today is apparently Child's Day in Korea, so they just built this small stage that you have right in front of Techno Mart here, where they have a few shows for the children. A lot of balloons and other things are going on there. You might actually pick up the sound in the background. I guess it's probably loud enough for you to hear. And of course, a lot of kids. And kids are usually like really excited to see a foreigner in Korea. They're quite happy. Even when they're in one of the more crowded areas, they haven't seen a lot of foreigners, and you get a lot of stares. Small stage, I don't know exactly what they do here, but you can see that it's pretty crowded. And I'm actually afraid that you might pick up too much of the microphone that the guy is using over there, because it's really loud. We have a bit of a dinosaur, no idea if that is a figure in Korea, something that's very special or not. But there's the entrance to Techno Mart. They have one of those jumping thingies, which is actually really awesome. Those are always the times when I wish that I'm still a child. I always say that I'm a 7-year-old trapped in the body of a 30-year-old. I would love to jump on that thing. But I feel that those kids would probably have a very bad day if I did. That would be a lot of blue eyes and kids bumping into you the entire time. I don't think that would be a very pleasant experience for them. So that's the entrance to Techno Mart right there, as you can see. There's the sign up here. And if you would go in there right now, we could actually watch the Pro League stream that is on. There's Cafe Bene, one of those cafes where I record my video blogs. It's actually one that they have. Yeah, I think they installed it right there a few months ago. I think in January. Before that, there was a Starbucks. And they decided that, well, for some reason, Starbucks didn't want the building anymore. And they decided to have a Cafe Bene in there, which I was actually really happy about, because Cafe Bene is usually a little bit nicer than Starbucks. And I prefer that quite a bit. Yeah, so this is kind of the plaza, or the area right in front of Techno Mart. And where I want to go with you now is the subway station. I just want to give you a quick idea of how long I have to walk until I'm at the subway station so I can go to work. That's already it. At least that's the connection to the subway station. So if we go down right down here, then we are underground and we can walk the rest of the way to the subway station. That's something that we're going to do somewhere in the future, though, because I want to show you a few of the things that are down there, like the food court, but that's going to be a different story and a bit of a different trip. So we are actually going to take the way around it. If you go straight here, by the way, you will end up at Astos's place. So Dan lives down the road. If you cross the bridge and then you have to turn left and right, then you will end up at Dan's place. So he lives really close. This is also the way that we usually take when we go to the gym. The gym is located right up in that building on the 14th floor. So this is where I currently go with Dan when we are working out. And you can see from here already the subway station all the way to the right. It's that boat thingy there at the back, that tunnel thingy. I'm not quite sure if you're picking that up in the video already, but that's where the subway station or the entrance to the subway station is located. So the area that I showed you earlier with the escalators downstairs, that connects to the subway station, but there's a little bit of a tiny mall down there. Nothing too fancy, just a few small shops, but you can just walk down there, which is really nice, especially when it's raining. You don't have to go all the way down out here and you don't get wet, so you can just walk down there. There's also another couple of cafes that we have at the bottom, the food court that I mentioned earlier that we'll show you in a later video, and just a couple of other things. It's really nice, and of course, especially in the winter when there are like minus 20 degrees in Korea, it's really nice to have that area so that you can just walk inside where it's a lot warmer. Yeah, it figures. There's, of course, like everywhere, McDonald's. You have another entrance to Techno Mart. I think the building itself has like at least 4 entrances, and it's quite huge. So that doesn't even cover D-Cube City that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. It's a different mall that is located on the other side of Techno Mart, and also it's very close to where the Fnatic building was. Well, not the Fnatic building, but you know, the Fnatic team house. So that is very, very close to D-Cube City. I have to walk for maybe another 5 to 10 minutes, and I'm right there. But that's something they'll also show you a different time. Today it's more about Techno Mart and the immediate vicinity of where exactly I live. You have always one of those guys that is kind of waiting there and just telling you when you can actually cross the street. And that is the shittiest job in the entire world. From my window, I can see one of them, more to the right in front of Techno Mart. And they are there no matter what the weather. I mean, it could be raining, it could be snowing, it could be hail. It doesn't really matter. One of those guys is always standing there and just waving the people over the street and making the car stop, and it's really the shittiest job in the entire world. Must be boring as hell, and at the same time, when there's bad weather, you're the one who suffers the most. So I definitely don't envy those guys. Here's also one of the taxi stands. There are a lot of the buses, the bus connections. Don't use them all too often. Haven't really figured out the bus system just yet. To be honest with you, I never really tried, so that's really the main reason. But usually I get everywhere I want to with the subway system. That's really, really good in Seoul. There's no problem at all. So yeah, so far I didn't really need it. But there's also all the cabs are located here, and cab rides are very, very cheap in Korea. This is one of the greatest things here about being at Techno Mart and being in Sindorim. It's so easy to catch a cab here, and also most of the cab drivers will drive you here no matter what. It's a big problem sometimes when you're, for example, in Itaewon, the foreigner district, or in Hongdae at the weekend or very late at night, and it's kind of crowded, so you want to get a cab back, and depending on where you live, they won't take you. So with Sindorim, it's usually not a problem because they are, pretty certain that I will get a fare back. And yeah, that's one of the main reasons. So we have a little bit of a park area down here too. As you can see, we won't go into too much detail, but that's just back there. It's usually an area where, I don't know, you park your grandparents or whatever, and then you collect them at the evening. Now, just being a little bit mean here, but in the end, that's kind of what it is. There are always a lot of old people hanging out there that don't seem to have anything else to do. So not really the area where I would want to read or anything, but it's just like something that you can do. There's another subway station that I was talking about earlier. You can maybe also read it in the video at the top. That's Sindorim, of course. That's at line 2, and you have a connection to line 1 as well. So that's right at the entrance. If you go down the stairs now, we might actually just do that, and I will lead you through the underground passage back to where we originally started. Then you can see that we have the entrance to the subway area right at the bottom of the streets, and then a connection to exit 1. This is exit 2. And at exit 1, there's the other mall that I was talking about a little bit earlier called Coex. One of the nicest malls that we have. Sorry, not Coex, no. Coex is located in Gangnam, my bad. D-Cube City. But D-Cube City is still one of the nicest malls that we have in Korea. But it's not Coex, not quite. So that right over there is the entrance, as you can see. And yeah, that's pretty crowded. That's one of the biggest stations that we have in Korea. Not the biggest ones, not by any means, but it's at least one of the stations where you have usually a lot of stuff going on. So if you go down this path that you can see right in front of us, that leads to exit 1, and this also leads then to D-Cube City. But what we are going to do is basically take the same way that we already walked down a few minutes ago, just now with the underground system. And this is connected this is immediately connected with Techno Mart. You can see that this is a pretty nice area right now. So that's already connected with Techno Mart. You can enter the building right in front of us at those doors and then go straight to, I don't know, Pro League, for example, which is located on the 3rd floor. That's where the internet cafe is, where they hold the Korea qualifier too. So on the other side, you can see now this cafe over here. Some of the video blogs that I recorded in the past were also recorded here. And now when we don't go into Techno Mart, the entrance that you've seen to our right, we can go down this road to the left. And there are all these small shops that we have at the site that I mentioned earlier. That guy is now famous. He's on camera. Hi, Mom. And yeah, so this is the area. This is basically the hallway right down to the escalators that you saw earlier. That will bring us up to the front of Techno Mart right at the beginning. So there are all these small shops that you have here at the side, and there's also a big shopping A supermarket. Thank you very much. That was a tough one for some reason. Yeah, supermarket right to the left. You can see that it's called E-Mart. The sign is already in front of us. If we go down the escalators to our left, then we will end up there. And they basically have everything. So if I want to buy something, doesn't matter if it's groceries or anything else, I'm usually pretty safe with E-Mart. So here are the escalators that then lead down. And continuing our quick walk towards the building, we'll also encounter the food market that I mentioned earlier. The food court is, not the market, the food court, of course. The food court is actually more like a canteen, and it's packed once there's lunchtime. There are so many people that are down there eating, and it has a huge variety of foods. There are a couple of fast food chains down here. They also have a lot of the Korean food, and it ranges from Japanese food to Korean food. It's really crazy, and it's so easy and convenient. Whatever you want, you can just walk down here and have a bite. And it's really great. And as soon as we walk down here, we'll end up at the escalators that I mentioned earlier, and then all the way up at the front of Techno Mart again. And this is probably then also the end of our video today. At least I don't know if there's anything else that I can show you. This, by the way, is the slowest escalator in the entire world. If you are stuck behind some Ajumas in there and they are blocking your way, you are on this thing for like, it feels like hours. It feels like crazy. So coming back into the sunlight, we are once again right in front of Techno Mart, as you can see, and have the jumping castle right in front of us. I'm already jealous again. I should really make sure that I don't run into this thing again today. The show that they had earlier is already done. Here you can see the building again where I live in. It's right across the street. Really, really conveniently placed for me. And yeah, a quick tour. So this is basically the area where I live. And yeah, it's pretty awesome, I have to say. So I hope that you enjoyed the short tour and that you have now a bit of an idea where exactly I live. As promised, I will also show you in the future my apartment at some point and also the food court down here. There are actually a lot of areas around Sindorim that are kind of noteworthy and where I want to record some videos in the future. I mentioned already at the beginning of the year that I really want to put a little bit more effort into the YouTube videos and make sure that you guys get an idea of what I do in Korea and how it is to live here. And I think so far I've done a pretty decent job with keeping you guys up to date and talk a little bit about what's happening here, but I want to show you a few of the areas, maybe one of the temples or one of the villages in the future too. So that's something that you can already look forward to now that we are approaching summer or at least spring. So it's going to be the weather is going to be a lot nicer, and that allows me to record more videos just outside and give you a bit of an idea. There's also something that I want to show you, which was really funny while I was recording this video. I was walking around at the children's area back there, and I had a few girls being really excited about seeing a white dude with a camera. So I recorded a short clip when they kind of grabbed the microphone, and I wanted to contribute to the video. So I hope that you enjoyed that part. I was actually blown away by how well they spoke English considering their age and knowing how bad the English usually is in Korea. So I hope that you enjoyed that short outtake. I hope that you also enjoyed the trip around the area in Sindorim where I live. If you did, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure that you upvote the video. And also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can always do that at Khaldor on Twitter. And I'll see you guys next time with the next video. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.
Hi. It is Children's Day. Children's Day. Here is Children's Day. Welcome to Korean house. Children, welcome to Korean. Korean is good, very good, excellent.